Hi, I'm Michelle Robinson, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're here for the very first time. I am a psychic medium, a evidential medium, intuitive. I'm a mentor and also an artist. So what I do is I actually let my team and the angelics guide my sessions. So I have a process that I go through initially to make sure I have all of my protection up, to raise my vibration, and to connect in with the angelic realm. So I have my guide who's there, and I have just checked in. This time I was curious about, okay, who's involved with the session from the angelic realm. So I could see the first one I saw was actually multicolored Raziel. Michael, I saw the blue, and Gabriel, and also Chamuel with the pink. So those are the angelics that I'm being made aware of that are supporting my session today, to bring as a collective anything that's hopeful, helpful, and healing. And I've got a feeling we've got some insights as well, because I was drawn to have a look at the astrology at the moment. The astrology is actually supporting hidden things coming to light, and that is very strong through many different aspects from now right through until the end of January. And so I'm expecting, and I'm hearing governments already to um, buried secrets, and things that really need to come to the light, so surfacing. I also get the impression that could be volcanic activity as well, things that are rumbling underneath kind of coming to the surface. So we're going to see it energetically playing out in different ways, not just through kind of planetary shifts and movements, but also through the unveiling or the unveiling, whichever way you want to say it, of certain buried truths or secrets. So I'm just going to close my eyes and see what comes through to share. First thing I'm being made aware of is Christmas. I'm seeing a Christmas tree. I'm seeing like the adorning the Christmas tree with the ornaments, and how this is a time of togetherness of family, and that it has a deeper meaning. It's also, okay, I'm being drawn to Mary and Jesus. There is an association with Christmas and Mary and Jesus. I feel somewhere along the way we've kind of lost that connection. They are ascended masters who have traveled, um, journeyed on Earth before in a pretty remarkable way. They cross consciousness. They are energies that are very available to us at this time. It's funny, connection. Okay, so I'm seeing like the three wise men carrying gifts and being guided by the star, the guiding star. So the guiding star is a star, or it represents the guide that we all have, that is overseeing our time here on Earth, and that if we can look to that um, guiding light or guiding star, so looking above what's going on all around us and kind of just elevating our focus and our attention to that which is going to guide us. It's like we can become very breadcrumbed, and in fact, not even breadcrumbed. I'm hearing like very assisted um, on Earth. Um, I can feel my energy just going up every time I'm seeing Jesus again and Mary. So I'm of no religion. They have been associated very strongly with certain religions, but the feeling I'm getting is them independently outside of any traditional kind of religion. I guess this is true for the archangels as well. They they have been locked into kind of a lot of structure, of which that does not actually represent them truly. So they are an energy that's here to assist all of us as well. So it's just interesting because the power of prayer. So it's like manifesting, connecting in with some of these exalted beings. So they are the bearers of truth, of light. They do not want wars in their name. They are embracing of all. They were healers. They were here to bring a light. So I always see Jesus as like three soul lights. So he was the power of many. And so we are all like a drop of, I guess, soul light of something that's bigger. And if you imagine it's like a raindrop from a rain cloud, but this isn't a rain cloud, it's like the sun and a sun ray. We all are that spark. Whereas Jesus during his incarnation um, had a much bigger presence. So he was like three drops of rain all combined. So that's why he had such a powerful presence and was able to perform these miracles. We all have the ability to create miracles within our same life, and it may not be to the same extent, but it is through the power of prayer, manifesting goodwill, good intentions. I'm getting the impression we also have the ability to create quite a bit of mayhem or undoing. So it's where we set our intention, where we place our energy. That's very important. Okay, I'm back to the three wise men. So I'm being seen that the three wise men are kind of representative of other supporting energies like ancestors and spirit. So we have our guiding light, which is like the our guide, and then we have the three wise men, which are representative of other beings which are at all times around us, whether we've met them or not. And this is our ancestors in spirit who have a very vested interest in our well-being and also there assisting and guiding. We actually have everything we need around us to be very successful in our lives, but it is whether or not we take the time and the energy and the dedication to tap into that. And once more, I'm being drawn to meditation being the route for successful connection, being one, and that can show as multiple different ways. The power of prayer is a beautiful thing for putting energy. So thoughts have energy. The more energy, the more positive your thoughts, the more your thoughts are like in manifesting for good and for positive things to happen in your life, the more opportunity you have for that to actually occur. And that is, through, again, meditation and connection, being able to feel and see and hear those gentle nudges from your loved ones in spirit and from your guide who's always trying to communicate with you, whether it's through signs and synchronicity. You can ask for validation and ask for a sign, and don't be too specific in how that may show up. But one of the ways that may show up would be triple numbers is quite a common one. And for me, working with the angelic realm, I get a lot of feathers, and it's almost like I go to stand on them because I'm often I go for walks and I'm often kind of in my own head, or they will fall out of my wallet or end up in my dressing room in most unusual places. Or after my beautiful dog died earlier in the year, there was a feather just above his dog bowl stuck on the inside of the security screen. So, unusual, and all you can do is, I always thank, thank spirit. I guess it's from the angelic realm, but that's an effort that those synchronicities require an effort to align so that we notice them. Okay, so I'm also getting dreams. This is also a time where you might get more vivid dreams. So be aware of them. When you wake up, maybe write them down. They won't give you, this is again your guide communicating with you. They won't give you often like, this is what you need to do. It'll be quite often very symbolic or metaphorical. For example, I know when I'm about to have a hiccup moment, I'll be seeing, I often have a vision or a very vivid dream, and it'll involve a car and it'll involve a car crash to some extent. The scenery around it might change, who's in there with me might change, the circumstances might change, and that gives me the clues around what I might expect coming up. And it just stops that kind of shock value when something happens that's a bit unexpected. Um, so kind of deciphering those can be quite interesting. I'm also hearing Merry Christmas. So this is a time of family cheer, joy. Not everybody feels that way. There are some people who can be quite lonely during this time of togetherness, and where possible, reaching out and noticing where your fellow man is maybe suffering, um, and maybe including them in your Christmas celebrations or thinking of them or reaching out to them is very important. I'm getting the indication there's a lot of older, lonely people out there who are on their own. So caring for, I guess, the elderly. Here we are, little Christmas tale. Let's see. I feel like that's all because I've just kind of not seeing the Christmas tree anymore. So I'm seeing, looks like a Japanese wood carving wave. Okay, so expect damaging waves. I feel like around the Australian coastline feels to me maybe New South Wales, Queensland, all the way up the coast. On the east coast, I'm feeling there is going to be periods of damaging um, winds, rain, and encroaching waves. Kind of the weather's going to be a little bit wild. I'm still seeing it like a Japanese wood carving, just representing kind of large wave structures like the Rockhampton area. And I have heard Capricorn Coast is going to get a bit of a battering. So those with yachts and boats that are at that Capricorn Coast, this is going to be around March next year. It's going to be a good idea to perhaps move these to safer harbour, maybe further south or sheltered or garaged. Um, I'm feeling quite wild winds. I'm hearing them whistling. It sounds cyclonic, that kind of whistling wind and very damaging waves. And I feel like there's marinas could get quite a battering, um, not being out in your boat. And I've had that before. I did see a marine rescue around that time, and it was very precarious, like whether or not the marine rescue could even get out to assist. And I felt like it was a fishing boat, fishermen. It may be a yacht, though. It could be a yacht. Everyone on board is wearing yellow wet weather gear, is how I'm seeing it. But it is a panic, and it looks how I'm being shown. It's not pretty. The circumstances are pretty rough. So expect power outages around that area, surface flooding. I feel like this may also impact Main Street of Rockhampton businesses. And then kind of once it's passed over, the sun's going to come out and it's going to be very hot and humid and back to kind of normal, like a squall passing through, creating havoc, and then off it goes again, kind of leaving a bit of an aftermath. Water. So this is where a little bit of water being having some water stored is going to be important. I feel like there could be some issues with kind of water electricity as well. Could be some roads cut off from that to maybe going north is the indication I'm getting. Hail. I'm seeing there'll be some severe weather systems. I feel like this is the summer. I'm seeing like large golf ball size hail that's all spiky, damaging hail. So it's going to be damage to roofs, cars. I just see it shredding trees as well. If you were out in this, it could be like, could end up being quite an emergency situation. So very damaging hail. I feel like it's going to be quite localized areas, maybe more like I'm feeling like here in Brisbane, like Logan, Gold Coast. I can see it being on social media, like, oh my God, look at the size of this one. Making sure your insurance, car insurance, house insurance is up to date. I'm seeing tarps on roofs and just um, like big damaged windscreens and cars. Going to be quite remarkable, some of these. I feel like they're not even going to be large storm cells, maybe small and intense. Going to be a regular occurrence, I'm hearing. So just quite a few afternoons or random times moving across, doing a bit of damage. Okay. I'm heading to New Zealand. Okay, I'm getting the top of New Zealand, like Cape Reinga. Is there a lighthouse up that way on that very long beach? Is that 100? Can't remember what it's called. It's there's a very long beach right at the top of New Zealand. I can see a lighthouse. That might be a oil spill from passing or a incident with like a shipping containers or with um a boat with shipping containers. There's an incident, may even be a grounding of a boat. I feel like I'm seeing a large boat kind of leaned over, as if it's come to ground. Maybe February. Oh, I just saw so much green right there. Gabrielle. Oh, it's called Gabrielle Raphael. That was a very healing energy. Why is that? Okay, kiwis. Actually, the bird endangered. There's going to be even more measures and clearing done in different areas to create safer havens for kiwis. So, more expansive clearing of predators of kiwis to make increasingly safe habitats for them. And I'm seeing that more on numbers of islands and then kind of bringing them in and helping them to establish themselves. So there's just a program that will be running, and I'm hearing it will be successful program. Possums. I'm seeing possum fur. Okay, trapping possums could become quite lucrative. And I feel like there's maybe been a slump in the cost of or the price of possum fur, but that's going to increase. There's going to be more money in that industry. I am getting the indication that they are quite damaging and that they do need culling and that it could be an incentive. Maybe because of the slump, there's been more possums and increasing damage, and it could be an incentive to actually hunt more of these to help with the culling process. So this may be incentivized. I'm being made aware while I'm thinking of kind of trappers of three-wheel or four-wheel motorbikes in New Zealand, kind of farmers or people getting around. There's either going to be more incidents or a significant incidents around this vehicle. There's an awareness that they actually got it. There's a safety risk, and there could be measures taken around certain types of vehicles. I feel that it's four-wheel bikes. There may have to be measures taken, protective measures, whether it's some kind of safety bars. I'm not sure. It's just that there's incidents involving maybe a young male, 20s, 18, 20s. And this is kind of common enough that it's like an inquiry or something along those lines. Um, and that will improve the safety, kind of the incidents of accidents around involving these vehicles. Petrol. Oh, prices are going to soar. That's what I'm hearing. Incidents in the Middle East. Expect the browser prices to go up. Getting New Zealand and Australia, but I feel more so, maybe more noticeable in New Zealand than Australia, that maybe there's some kind of arrangement or deal done with Australia and it doesn't have as much impact. Prices of lamb. I did feel this last time, but I'm getting that specifically now, will increase. There's been disruptions during the lambing season. Price of the lamb will increase. I did get this. Okay, I just have to let you know. I have had this before if you have seen this one, but banana shortage. Something about apples. There could be something impacting apple crops of apples as well, like a mildew or some kind of insect or something which is going to affect apple cropping, but it's not a weather-related event. It's more something that's actually affecting the tree or the fruit itself. I'm seeing wasps as well. I feel like there's going to be incidences on some areas of kind of more wasps being noticed, like pests. Well, this is going to be a bit of an issue where they show up. Um, mice, mice in granaries. And there's going to be an incidence of that as well. I feel like that's maybe in New South Wales. Again, that's going to be just a little bit of a pestilence issue. Hmm. Dengue fever? Do we get dengue fever in Australia? There could be some incidents of dengue fever through blood-borne mosquito. I feel like that's here in Australia. Could be something that's kind of more noted. People having fevers, sore joints, really unwell. It's kind of, I don't know if we have dengue fever, but it's kind of a little bit more prevalent or something which is like, oh, also stingers. Being really aware of stingers, I feel like they are coming further down south. So I know there's been some incidents on the coast side of Fraser Island, but I feel like there will be potential for more incidents where it's been more isolated, there could be some more, or they're noted. It's going to be interesting because it's kind of becoming more commonplace that the stingers are starting to move further south and kind of may make stinger nets important, or that's starting to become something that's being thought of. I'm seeing helicopter rescues, and I feel like that's out to this same region on Fraser. So anyone going to Fraser, the Hervey Bay side of Fraser, their children, children in the water. Yeah, there's going to be some stinger incidents that could involve a couple of boys. I feel like I'm seeing just boys running through the water. Oh gosh, Fraser again, just being more aware of dingoes. I feel there could be, again, just some aggressive dingo behavior again towards perhaps boys, group of boys. Don't let your children kind of be isolated, even if there's a couple of them, from kind of a larger group of people or vehicles, or let them go wandering off down the beach on their own. I just sense that there's going to be some kind of aggressive dingo behavior, kind of stalking them, even when they're in a group. And I'm seeing like a group of three. Yeah, there's potential risk. Also on sand dunes in Fraser, when they go up onto sand dunes, making sure there's adults or a group at the top. I feel like they are also kind of coming up where they can't be seen from behind sand dune areas when kids are going up and down. So just a couple of cautions around that. Also around camping, free camping, just cautions around that with dingoes as well. So when that could be more noticeable this kind of season up until perhaps April on Fraser. Okay, so I'm back to New Zealand. Deer hunting or hunting, that's what I'm seeing. Kind of up in the alpine regions, or quite remote. Be very aware if you're going by yourself. I feel like there's going to be kind of weather events or rain events, potential for slipping and injury. It's just cautionary tales. That they are telling somebody where they're going, that they have, can't you have like some kind of, if you're out of range on your mobile phone, like some kind of communication, maybe to Starlink, something where, or like a homing beacon or something along those lines. There is going to be a male. I'm just seeing one in particular, but it could be for several, and now I'm seeing could be more than that. But just incidences where it's like, oh, thank God, I'm in trouble. Things have changed, the weather's changed, or like broken leg, kind of being just remote and not easy to find. Um, and I'm hearing could be the difference between life and death. Also, rations. So taking some, just think, okay, well, I might be just going up for the afternoon, but I'm just going to pack some extra rations. Like, it doesn't hurt to just throw in a little bit more dried food, or when I say dried food, I'm thinking beef jerky for some reason, but just something that you can throw in case you get stuck for a day. That's all. It's just some helpful tips, and it must be for a reason. There must be isolated incidences. Okay, I'm getting volcanoes. We've still got rumbling for quite some time. So we're going to see more volcanic activity. I know there's been one interesting because last time I could see quite distinctly this very green volcano on an island and evacuations, and I was getting Japan, and then separately to that, I felt Indonesia for activity. Um, and and where this volcano was, I felt there was a series of earthquakes. So we did have a volcano did erupt in Japan or just become quite active. But I didn't feel that so that was first, but I didn't feel that had the appearance, and there was no evacuations around that. And then there was one in Java, and that had the appearance that I had seen, plus there was evacuations, and there was a series of earthquakes. So it was almost as if there was just a combination, so kind of bringing in both regions. And I know when I do mediumship, spirit can do this. Say if there's two aunties, they'll bring in the commonalities and then separate them out, if they were similar. So I found that quite interesting. Um, so saying that earthquakes, I'm getting Nepal again. I'm hearing devastating. Turkey, California. So I'm getting some volcanic activity, maybe Yellowstone. I don't know anything. I haven't been to Yellowstone. I'm assuming that must be like volcanic in nature. It's going to be letting off steam, a lot more volcanic like activity, like geysers and uh, heating and bubbling, like geothermal, a real increase in geothermal activity around there. Um, I'm going to have to look up about Yellowstone after this. Um, Indonesia, so there'll be more activity in Indonesia. I'm hearing Sumatra. I don't know all of the places. Maybe Java again. Maybe something around China, Mongolia region, kind of Tibetan plateau. Okay. So on that China side, around the Himalayas. Okay. I've also been drawn to northern India. So it seems there's shifts around regions, kind of around the Himalayas region. So northern India on the east coast, I am seeing this will topple buildings. There'll be some devastation around that as well. I'm hearing these are the big ones. I feel like this is kind of going to play out throughout 2026, but there's going to be shifts and rumbles here and shifts and rumbles there. I'm getting Indonesia again, Java. Bit more activity will be seen there. Possibly something in Bali. Just maybe some steam and a little bit more volcanic activity. Be some plane disruptions, ash clouds, and maybe impact some tourism and plans, maybe around April through to June, something around that time period. Perth. I feel like it's going to be very hot and dry over in Western Australia. Could be a shark attack. I don't know if that's South Australia, Western Australia I was getting. Mm. Um, a surfer, I feel. Vineyards. It could be just a dry time for those who have vineyards in WA. I'm kind of feeling like that Margaret River region and other regions like that. Just kind of feels like very sunny, hot, um, baking. Okay. Derwent River. Derwent River. That's in Tasmania. They could have a hotter summer as well. I see there could be water levels dropping in the river. So it might be just a little bit of kind of lack of water in the normal lush waterways in Tasmania. I'm hearing it's significant. It has an ecological impact, kind of unexpected. In Southland. Southland's going to have more rains. It's going to have to prepare for some more wild weather events. Just like getting kind of torrential rain, flooding, farmers going out to try and help their stock, kind of in rising floodwaters. I do feel like this is still upcoming. I know they've had a tough time lately. I do see some trees going down as well. Like, it does feel kind of wild. Waterways again. Being aware of erosion, some of it can happen quite quickly. Could be coming up to some properties quite quickly. Okay, I'm getting Harry again. There has been quite a few questions about Harry and Meghan and the children. So I think okay, I'm getting something else. Let me just come back to that because I'm getting Gus. Will be found. Justice will be done. What's hidden is coming to light in this case. Little Gus, 4-year-old that went missing in South Australia. Okay. This is like, there's a lot of deception going on in this case. I'm getting chipping away. So the chipping away is going to uncover a lot of truth. It's like there's a group that are keeping quiet together. But there's a weak link and truth will surface for those that are wanting this little boy to be found. Just allow it a little bit of time. Things will come to light. I'm seeing arrests. It's going to be a nation relieved by this. And it's taken me to William Tyrrell, little boy in a Spider-Man outfit. It stays with everybody. These missing boys and injustices and the Beaumont children. Things are going to surface about all of those cases. These are some of the secrets that are coming to light. So there will be lights shone upon these, and it's almost like the cracks will open and the truth will be told. Not just this, but for government secrets as well, exposed. I'm hearing the word exposed. So that's taking me to the Chinese 𝓜𝓮𝓭𝓏, Chinese Prime Minister. There's a fall from grace there. There's some ties that are going to be unearthed, like secret handshakes or deals that have been done with other countries that I'm hearing the word appalling going to be kind of considered appalling by he's not going to be able to stay in his leadership role. It's almost going to be an immediate fall from grace. That takes me to the Epstein files. More secrets are going to be exposed around that as well. There's going to be arrests. I'm seeing like, oh gosh, like someone quite high in the court. When you wear kind of the judge's like the the full curly head, someone quite high up, stout kind of person. I think people are just not going to know who, oh my God, who can we trust? And this is coming back to self-reliance, standing on your own 2 feet. Power of the people. There is power in groups of people, and don't underestimate that. Not all leadership is here to serve others. Some is serving itself. And I think some of this is going to become clearer. Deals that are made, armaments, I'm hearing. Going to create a bit of dismay. I'm getting the word dismay. So Epstein files. Oh, I feel like Andrew's going to be in hot water. There's going to be absolutely no doubt of his involvement. He's going to have to lay low. I don't even feel like he can come out and about. I'm not seeing him being arrested, but I don't even think he can show his face. I don't think he can be seen out anywhere. Whether this is self-imposed exile for safety, I do feel like there could be some security, or whether it's some kind of forced house arrest situation. Either way, he's going to be severely restricted in his movements. The public, yeah, because of public, again, dismay. Okay, Beatrice and Eugenie. Oh, I just feel like they're stepping back as well. Like, they don't want association, so they're just stepping out of like the semi-limelight that they were in, almost hanging up their hats, not being involved with kind of royal duties or outings or times when they might have been more publicly seen. There's a step back for them. Getting drawn to Eugenie. No, Beatrice. Her eyes are looking quite big for the size of her face, almost as if there's a lot of stress on her body. I feel like there's a recovery that's needed for her. I'm seeing Megan. I feel that she's quite confident and she's quite sure about what it is she's doing. She seems to have got things in place for herself. Very happy with the children, but there feels like a disconnect between her and Harry. I feel like that's going to widen. It's kind of feels like more like Megan and the children and Harry's separated. It's kind of losing what it is that makes him happy. Like he's had so much purpose before, but didn't realize it, doing important things. And now I feel like a lot of those endeavors have kind of dried up a lot for him. And he's losing a sense of himself. And instead of finding himself, he's losing himself. May not be till around maybe April timeframe. I'm feeling like Harry's going to start having a purpose back in England. So I did see he's returning. And that the divide is going to widen because it's very difficult for Megan to be there. But this is where Harry feels like he belongs and where he has purpose and he needs that purpose. I don't feel like there's enough holding them together. I do feel like essentially the children will be in America, especially initially. I feel like Harry will go back there to visit with them. And later in the year, there could be some arrangements made, more of a formal arrangement between kind of time spent between the countries, but ultimately there could be patches that they spend in the UK, but ultimately I feel like they will be with their mother in America more so. Perhaps when the son at some stage might come and spend more time in the UK, but not initially. I do feel like him and Dad are very close. And so he, maybe when he's a little bit older, maybe 16, 15, not sure, but that he will kind of tend to be more in the UK and then visit back towards America, but he's going to feel quite comfortable in the UK. That's kind of where he feels like his home is. The daughter, I feel like, will stay kind of more attached to Megan. Okay, so that clears up some of that as far as what I'm seeing. Um, okay. Hmm. Sewing. I love her little tips. It's going to be kind of a moving back to like enjoyment out of some of those things, like fixing something instead of buying it and getting out the sewing machine and things that perhaps we were being quite a throwaway society. Some things aren't as cheap as they used to be. So we're being more industrious. Also with kind of craft as well. Like, oh, I'm going to make this beautiful macrame for my friend instead of going to the shop and buying something. Using natural materials, I'm seeing, is going to become more commonplace as well. There's going to be quite an industry in that. People being quite creative. So I'm seeing things like crocheting and kids doing that cotton wool where they create a little mouse tail out of wool, and some of those crafts are going to come back into play. Oh, spinning of like sheep's wool and um, yeah, like more homemade jams as well. Preserving will increase. I'm seeing all the little handwritten labels on the side of kind of jam jars. Doing it yourself, like sprouting alfalfas. And yeah, I just feel like things have changed a little bit. Like it almost didn't make sense like to sometimes grow your own veggies because you could just go down and they weren't expensive. Maybe also because of organic, a move away from pesticides, chemicals, kind of doing it yourself. It's well, we're all seems to be a bit of a trend towards a more maybe organic lifestyle. Maybe more home orientated as well. Um, Kind of larger family groups living in one dwelling, and it feels quite nice. With people kind of being more family and home orientated instead of looking so externally for entertainment, gatherings, barbecues. Yeah. Um, Extended family. It's going to, maybe we did make a move away from that, and there's going to be more of a move towards that. And I feel like out of necessity, housing affordability, I'm hearing. So, yeah, a little bit of a change with that as well. I like heartfelt helping each other for better combined outcomes, and that's the way forward. Let's see if there's anything else. I'm getting Canada. Someone did ask about, or a couple of people did ask about Canada. Okay, what about Canada? Wildfires, Kelowna region could impact the township more so than in previous years. Um, Heavy snowfalls causing collapse some collapses in some regions. This will be kind of in different areas. Bumper snow season. It's going to be amazing at Whistler for skiing. Really, really great powdery snow. So anyone that wants to go skiing. Something about moose hunting. Maybe there could be more protections around moose hunting, trapping, and bears. There'll be a slight shift in hibernation patterns. They may be seen like earlier than they're supposed to be. That's when they're still kind of usually in hibernation. They're seen out and about, and I'm seeing some swollen rivers there as well. Like rapids and rivers kind of swollen from rain events. I see people are uneasy in Canada, like with the government or the way things are, but I actually feel like that it feels reasonably stable, like they're holding their own. I'm getting the English Prime Minister. There's going to be a few revelations there as well. I feel like he'll be ousted. Fall from grace. I can't even remember his name, sorry. Something that I'm just seeing like a newspaper, someone's reading the newspaper, like, oh, can't believe it. It's kind of going to be untenable that he stays. This is maybe June. And when I tap into Europe, I just feel like Europe's doing it hard, kind of a bit of hardship. Prices, weather, but I'm just getting kind of that just feeling as a whole, like a sweep. Employment difficulties, cost of living, just getting things are just tightening up, feels like in Europe in general. Okay, I am aware that I've been doing this for a little while, and I know that wasn't very specific, but that could be why. Value of the euro dropping. Okay. The yen. The yen feels like it's going to strengthen. US dollar dropping. Okay, that's all I'm getting there. Okay, I'll just check that there's just saw a blackbird out of the corner of my eye. I'll just see if that's relevant to anything. Just don't forget to keep looking to nature and embracing nature and noticing the wonders around you. Despite all these little things happening and things going up and down, we live in a beautiful place surrounded by beauty, and we just need to take the time to appreciate that. I'm just seeing like little crystals glimmering in the sun. I'm being told of the healing energy of the sun, also of the sea. Try to spend a little bit of time in sunlight and outdoors. It's very healing for the body. We become quite disconnected from that, and then we feel disconnected. And it's easier to feel in fear. It's very stabilizing and good for the body. Uplifting, I'm hearing. And I'm just seeing the little plant in front of me. So just like a plant has certain requirements, indoor plants as well. Something to rest your eye on that's, attached to nature. very important. And now I've seen my crystals. Okay, today I don't know what this is. This is a little crystal that also has a beautiful sheen. This one in particular, this one was a little bit special because I do channeling work. This was especially helpful and powerful for channeling work. So I have that sitting with me during my work as well. So yeah, working with crystals, they do have a beautiful vibration. So having a look at what the properties of crystals are, maybe having one in your pocket or in your bag or somewhere you can see it in your home. Certain crystals have certain qualities, like rose quartz is very good for the heart, kindness, compassion, and those kind of associations. So what I did do after the last session was I cleaned out the cupboard that I saw that was cluttered. What else did I do? I made a dowel. So I'm following my God's advice as well. And everything that comes through to me is as surprising as it is to you. None of this has my opinion in it. If I don't see it, hear it, feel it from spirit, then I don't speak about it unless I'm just adding a little personal antidote. So I'm keeping very objective within this process and following the lead. So hopefully what is shared is helpful, hopeful, and healing for any of you listeners. And yeah, I thank you for being here on this episode. I look forward to you joining me on more and bringing you more of these episodes. Anybody that wants to book a personal reading, please have a look at the links in my description. Same as for an intuitive, online intuitive circle, which I run at a couple of different time slots each fortnight to cater for like US, UK timeframes as well. Links to that is also in my description. That next ones start on the 21st of January. So that'll be the next 5 session that go over 10 weeks, starting in later in January. Also, I have a meditation series. I was guided to do this angelic assisted meditation series of kind of like raising your vibration, kind of healing, clearing, cooling back your soul fragments, and then raising your vibration, and then taking a journey yourself to like a healing chamber. So it's a process of ascension. I call it the Ascension series. So the link to that is also in my description. So I think that's all. And thank you for being here with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell if you want to be notified of when any of these drop. And I'll see you on the next episode.